Hello and welcome to the summary of round 9 of the Australian Chess Championship, where Rishi Sardana from Canberra is headed for victory. He played a game where if he wins the championship, this will be the one shown in all the magazines or all the chess columns, because in the position we've got here, he played Queen b5, hoping for b6, after which knight f6 would be better. Knight e5 is a wonderful winning move. The point is, after knight takes knight, he has queen takes rook, rook takes, knight e7 check, and you can't take back because of rook d8 back with back rank mate. If you don't take, then knight g6, and white is winning the endgame fairly easily. So a magnificent combination by Sardana. He is now on 8 out of 9. He is a point clear of Fred Litchfield, who is on 7 points, and then you have to go another point further back to find only 2 players. Those as 2 include Yi Liu, and Yi played a very fine game to beat the second seed Trevor Tao. The Queenslander in this position, having just forced the black knight back to d7, sacrificed the exchange with rook e4, and he just has positional compensation. He's not going to mate with bishop d3 because there's always knight f8, but he does have bishop h4 sometimes. So f6 first, and slowly keeping control of the position. I'll fast forward to around here, where white is threatening mate, queen g7, and now wonderful calculation by Yi that queen takes queen, and this endgame is winning for white. First point is bishop c6. The threat is bishop d7, followed by bishop c8, either cutting the rook off completely or trapping it. So you have to go rook b8, and now the white king gets to c5 just in time. And one final fine move, bishop b5. The black king is not allowed in, so king c6, king c7 is coming, and white will win easily. So Yi moved up to 6 points, and that was a very impressive win by him. If we want to look for endgame fails, there were quite a few this round. One was a pretty tough one, actually. This is Fan Mai, who is playing Lei Tri Kien. Fan Mai is the Adelaide Olympian for Australia. Lei Tri Kien is the 18-year-old from Vietnam. And here, it looks very tough, but anyone who's read Oops, I Resigned Again would know that there are these drawing patterns involving black being left just with a b-pawn and white's king getting all the way back to c1. And in fact, if she had realised how to do it early enough, she could have played, instead of bishop d1, bishop d3, king g4, which is coming anyway, and now takes, king takes, bishop has to protect the pawn, and now the black king, unfortunately, has to take the h-pawn before it can come all the way into d2 or e2, d2. So after here, you must take the pawn. So king c3, king here, and the problem for black is that if you get anywhere close, it's going to be stalemate. And this is the draw that Sam Shankland forgot about against Anish Giri in Vaikanze famously, and unfortunately Fan Mai is the second person to fall for it. Instead, she played bishop d1 and tried to do it this way, but the black king is way too close. And it gets in to cover the d2 square, and she resigned a move or two later, and resigned here. So that was Le Tri Kien. He's going to be raised to top board in the next round. Another endgame fail, poor old Gary Lane. He was better, then he was worse, but then he was much, much better. But the final win that he missed is a computer win, and it's really, really lovely. He could have done things much more easily, but in this position, there is this fantastic move, g2. Hard to believe. King takes, rook c4. The point is that rook c2 check is going to set up a mating net. Either if you go to h3 with rook h2 mate, or if you go to f1 with e3 followed by rook f2 mate. So the problem was, after rook takes c4, rook d7. It's a wonderful way to get out of everything. You're both threatening the c-pawn with check, and you're threatening rook f7. And although black's position looks fantastic, here one more finesse, rook c4 check, followed by rook back. And now you can try king f2, but unfortunately h6 is a little too fast, I think. h6, knight check, king here, g2 takes, queen, take, I'm not sure about this, h7, queen, and that's winning for black, because we get our king to h8. So was this a final winning try? Or is there a trick? How about we pin here? And g2 is impossible. What about knight check though? King up, now g2. That looks pretty good. Wow. Let's check our friend Stockfish. Is king f2 winning? Or is there some yeah, it is winning. So in fact even rook c4 check doesn't save the day. So Jarry Lane was winning right near the end. Wow, that is sad. So instead he made a queen and forgot that after king takes pawn it's all over. So and one more, the classic rook and bishop versus rook. It looked like Jack Rogers had escaped here when he played the very nice rook g8 against Sukai G. The point is if rook takes rook it's stalemate and anything else lets the king escape. But now instead of making a run for it, king h3 wouldn't be bad here. He allowed his king to get trapped, and that is pretty well game over. Rook here, maybe not perfect, but it's fine. Rook check, bishop here. We have not exactly a Philidor position, but a related one, and rook b5 is absolutely the most accurate move. Sukai G knows exactly what he's doing. Now, if you don't keep the pin, and he didn't, then bishop f2 and rook h5 mate is winning. If you do keep the pin, you have to either go to c3 or d3. If you go to d3, you do not have access to this d4 square. So therefore we, let's say, throw a check in, king here, and rook here, and your normal defense would be rook d4. It's not possible. Or if you play rook to c3, then you're not covering the c5 square. So we go rook here, and you're going to be mated, because rook c5 is the only defense in this sort of position. So all you have to do really with rook b5 is force that white rook off either the b3 or a3 squares, and whether you go to c3 or d3, you're in trouble. So we've only got 2 rounds to go. Rishi Sardana, well, it's his tournament to lose. He is 1 point clear of only Frederick Litchfield, the 2 Canberra players. Canberra is going to win this Australian Championship. Lei Trikien is the next player lined up for Rishi Sardana. It's going to be very tough for the teenager from Vietnam. But if you want to see how it goes, come on down to the Glenunga International High School. Games start at 2 o'clock, and I hope people will turn up to watch. Thanks a lot. See you later.